going on YouTube? Another big match from the Washington Command Post. My name is JD. We're going to dive into this. So Washington played a football game yesterday. At least they made it look like they played a football game. They showed up and they lost and then went home. Actually, no. There's some things I'll take out of the game that are, well, there's some bad things for sure, but there's some things I'll take a little bit of positives out of the game. So first off, before I get started, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and then follow me on Twitter. It's Commander J Plank, and I comment throughout the game, and I really just cannot be on Twitter anymore for the games. And I'm gonna go in on fans here in a little bit. But Washington, we lost 24-8. The score is not evenly distributed. First quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, we shut that team out. They scored no points. And it was the second quarter was all the points and all the damage was done in the second quarter. Our offense could not get anything going, and I'm going to go into why that is. But first, I will talk about the defense, because the last video I spent a lot of time ripping on the defense. And I'm going to go into this. So, defense. I actually don't feel the defense played too horribly. They got 3 and outs early. They got off the field early in the game. They gave our offense a chance to get a lead. I said in my video, it was a very short video because I'm still a little under the weather, but this needs to be thoroughly said, what needs to be said on this video. I said on the video I posted on Saturday that the way to beat the Eagles was you get the ball first, you march down the field and score. Our defense gets 1 3 and out, or maybe holds them to a field goal or whatever. Then we score again and we make them play from behind. Okay? And that's the recipe for success, to have Jalen Hurts have to beat us with his arm and not have to be able to have the balanced run pass attack, which for the entire game they actually had a pretty balanced run pass attack, and we actually stopped their run. They only got 72 yards rushing, the number one offense in the league, number one rushing offense in the league. We held to 72 yards, and they tried. They weren't shying away from it. They had balance. They had 30 passes, 30 rushes, and 35 pass attempts. Okay, so they were pretty balanced, and 24 points, and I know that's like still giving up a good amount of points. It's honestly not. If we'd have scored what we've been averaging, we'd have won this game. That's all there is to it. If we'd have scored what we've been averaging, about 28 points a game, Washington would have won this game if we'd have just done our average on offense. Okay, so the offense didn't show up. Defense, I thought, played great. They got off the field on third downs. They broke up big passes. They got to Jalen Hurts when they needed to. They did not let the Eagles really get into an effective rhythm. And that's my personal opinion. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that they ever got in the rhythm. I watched the game. I feel like they had some things going their way, but I think our defense did enough to win the game. That's exactly all we can ask for from our defense. Okay? I really do. I really think that they did just enough to win the game. They did enough to give us a chance, and our offense just did not do much at all. I'll go over to the offense now. Carson Wentz was sacked 9 fucking times, and I'm gonna get livid on the offense. I'm gonna get really livid on Scott Turner here. Okay, 9 times. Our rushing game, we actually, had more rushing yards than they did. But here's where my issue with the passing game. Here's my real issue with the passing game, or the offense. If you look at how many pass attempts and rush attempts, so rush attempts, there was only 19. It says 22. However, 3 of those are Wentz, and we don't have any designed Wentz runs. He was just scrambling and got some yards or whatever. Okay, so right there you add 3 more to the 43 total for attempts. That's 46 passes. Then he got sacked 9 times. So that's 55 passes to only 19 rushes. That's a problem with me. That's a problem for me. Considering early in the game, Antonio Gibson was averaging like 6 yards a carry, and at the end of the game, he didn't end up getting nothing because, we run at the worst time. We don't have any kind of balanced attack. I think our coordinators are the biggest issue of this team. Now I'm going to go in on the fans for 2 seconds. I really can't stand the Washington Commanders fans. I really cannot. And it's not me dishing anyone individually. I may do that in the future, to call out people individually. But every fucking bad throw is a whine fest. It was like that last year with Taylor Heinicke. Then you have Kyle Allen in, and Kyle Allen throwing, Taylor Heinicke back in. And then now it's with Carson Wentz. And everything's Carson Wentz's fault. And this season's over after 2 games and 1 quarter. or something like that. It's like, what? Can we stop being a bunch of fucking whiny pussies? Like, seriously. Such a whiny, woe is me, my life's horrible because I'm a Commander fan base. Can we stop being a bunch of fucking whiny pussies? First off, if you're going to bitch about the problem that you can fix. Right now, everyone's bitching about personnel. Oh, we don't have linebacker. Oh, actually, linebackers played great. Like, Jamie Davis actually played very good yesterday. Cole Holcomb played pretty good as well. I have no complaints about our defense. I really don't have a lot of complaints. If we ask our defense to hold a team to 21, our offense should be explosive enough to score at least 22 plus points. And 24 was a gimme. That's the number one offense we held to 24 points. They've been averaging like 36 a game or something like that. That's a win. And they shut them out for 3 quarters. So they did their job. And people just complaining about everything under the sun, and they're never pointing out the actual problems that can be fixed. In the offseason, you complain about personnel changes. You can complain about not getting this, that, or the other, okay? You can complain about we focus on quarterback and then get a linebacker. Quarterback's pretty fucking important, okay? Quarterback is a very fucking important position in the game of football. That's why we focus on it. We didn't want to have an issue where we have 7 games we win, and 4 of them we could have won if we just had a halfway decent quarterback. Sorry, a little bit of dry throat, so I got to clear my throat there. Okay, I'm going in on fans. A lot of them want to point out players individually that have problems. People are actually out there pointing out Taylor Heinicke or Terry McLaurin. Like, get the fuck out of here. Shut your fucking mouth. You don't know football. A lot of people that are bitching about football don't know football. Let me ask you a question. Right now, in the middle of the season, what do you think is more something that actually can be done to fix problems? Do you think we can change personnel easier or change scheme easier? If you said personnel, you're an idiot and you should stop listening right now. Personnel is not something you can fix mid-season. If there was a player out there in free agency you can just sign and add him to your team, the Washington would have already done it. Other teams would have probably already done it, so he wouldn't be available anyway. You can't just go out and sign someone in free agency and be like, oh, we're good now. We got this guy signed. No, I mean, we had a couple chances to do some things when it came to signing players when they got cut from other teams. We were looking for that, but we didn't. We didn't have the money, or we didn't find people we wanted. It's one of the two. I don't know which one, but it's one of the two. That's all there is to it. And what can be fixed right now is scheme. You can bitch all day about the personnel and how good they are, or how good or bad they are. Guess what? There's teams out there that are not very good, they're not very talented, and they adjust their scheme around their talent. Okay, that's the problem. That's the problem right now. That's like last year. I'll give an example. Taylor Heinicke is a mobile quarterback, not a running quarterback, mobile. So they very rarely rolled him out. They very rarely put him in RPO situations. Instead, you have your Ryan Fitzpatrick stand in the pocket and be a statue quarterback. Offense that's catered around his strengths, and all of a sudden he goes down, and none of the offense was catered around Taylor Heinicke's strength. You still had a lot of long developing plays. You didn't have a lot of short, quick passes. You didn't have a more aggressive running game to compensate for Taylor Heinicke's inability to throw deep. Whatever the case would be, it's a scheme issue. You as an offensive coordinator, you as a coach, have to modify your tactics, your strategy, your offense, your defense, whatever, around the personnel given to you. And that is the major problem with this team, is the offensive coordinator makes his offense, and they're very fancy plays, but he's not modifying his offense to fit the problems that the team's having offensively. It's called adjustments. We don't make adjustments. We took an entire first half last week against the Lions to realize, hey, if we just have one quick pass, Carson will recognize the blitz and get rid of it very fast. Did that the whole second half. It outscored them, put up like almost 30 points in the second half very easily. Very quickly did we do that. Not a problem. And then you're able to actually drive the ball deep a little bit. And then it also loosened up the run game, too. It has a snowball effect. But it takes a whole fucking half for our dumbass offensive coordinator to realize, hey, I might need to have a quick pass because our offensive line cannot block these guys. Or maybe I need to leave a tight end in to double on somebody so someone else can double elsewhere, and so we can give Carson Wentz a little bit more time. But literally, Carson Wentz would drop back on a 3-step drop, and the freaking center or the interior lineman would be like in his lap. Okay? In his fucking lap. He got sacked 9 times anyone to argue this with me, you're fucking stupid. He might be responsible for 2 of those sacks for holding the ball too long. Okay, he might be responsible for 2 of them. Beyond that, the rest of them are his fault, or the offensive line's fault, and I would say honestly Scott Turner's fault. You're not leaving enough guys in to block. You didn't have a good running game. To start the first half, we go 2 runs right in a row, get 10 yards. Next 3 plays, pass. We have to with basically 3 and out after that. Like, why? What is the problem with running the football? I don't understand the problem. And also, like, if you're going to run the fucking football, run downhill for God's sakes. We run this stupid lateral bullshit, East Coast, like, sideline to sideline bullshit, like you're about to run an RPO and do, like, a fake. Run downhill. That's why I can't wait to get Brian Robinson back. Get some downhill. I don't blame Gibson. Gibson runs as hard as he can. Okay? And we're not using him out of the backfield like we did week 1. The week 1 was good. Here's why week 1 was good. Washington was good in week 1 because we did 3 things. 1, we had very quick passes right away. Carson Wentz got the ball out of his hands quickly. Okay? So what that did was it loosened up the pass rush because, you know, he's getting the ball out quick. We can run and make those tackles, or at least help, you know, in the passing and to catch to tackle the guy. Okay? It also did was it loosened them up, put them on their heels a little bit, and then our running game was actually a little bit effective. So now we're getting a running attack going. We're getting the short passing game. The secondary starts cheating up to take away this short running game, and boom, we beat them deep. That's exactly why the offense was effective in week 1. Because you had quick passes, you got the ball out quick, you had the defense reeling, you weren't able to pin their ears back and play through their strengths. The Eagles defense yesterday was able to play to their strengths. Their strength is just pin the ears back, send 4, go for the quarterback. Okay, you ran 0 draws, you didn't run 1 screen in the entire game. Okay, you might have run, I think you ran 2. 1 was the last play we had offensively in the first half to a wide receiver screen, which would have burnt them when they kept blitzing us early. But no, we don't do it when it makes sense. We do it when it's 3rd and 15 or something, and we just want to not turn the ball over or something like that. It's the dumbest, most passive-aggressive pussy way of playing I've ever heard of. But it's not smart either. Sorry, I'm getting off track here. Okay, and we did have a screen in the second half. Carson Wentz got hit before he could even throw it, and the receiver hadn't gotten to his route yet. So the problem in my opinion is our offensive coordinator. I can't stand Scott Turner. He's very creative in plays. I'll give him that credit. He can draw up some very creative plays, but you're not drawing up things that solve problems. You're not drawing up the things that can solve problems that Washington is having right now. Washington's issue is the offensive line can't hold it down. They just can't. Say what you want, they can't hold it down. Okay? Not holding it down. Maybe it's because of injuries. Maybe it's because, in the offseason we didn't have a lot of time together. It's possibly what it is. Now, granted, Eagles' defensive line is pretty good. So maybe it's just like, this is like the tip of the mountain. But the Lions had the same thing. They made stuff and we didn't make adjustments. And that's the problem I have with Scott Turner. The defense is doing things, and he's not making adjustments to catch the defense doing their things. Whether it's blitzing, whether it's pinning the ears back and going up the field too far, whatever case may be. And that's the issue I have. It's honestly, Jack Del Rio has that issue too, but today he showed a little bit of an adjustment. They played a lot more man. They played a bunch more man. And that man-to-man seemed to be fixing a lot of their problems, if I'm being bluntly honest. That man-to-man fixed a lot of their problems. So let me go back to a recap here, and we're going to go over the team stats. So we had just as many first downs, which is dumb. It's just they got those explosive plays when they needed to. And, that's what it was. 74 plays. We actually ran more plays than them. It's pretty dumb. Total yards, 240. Well, you have to factor in 9 sacks for like 60 yards or something like that. Yards per play, that's pretty bad. Passing, 153. Carson had a lot more than 153 yards passing. He's got sacked a bunch of times. And, but the problem with this team is our coordinators are not good at making adjustments at all. I'll give Jack Del Rio this credit this week. He gets a credit this week. I don't know if it's going to be the same next week, but Jack Del Rio actually was not too horrible. Jack Del Rio was pretty solid when it came to calling this game. We blitzed at the right times. We put pressure at the right times. Kendall Fuller played good. Benjamin St-Juste played pretty good. The big issue, I think, on defense we had was not having William Jackson III. The 1 week we play man, which is what William Jackson III is specialty at. We don't play man, or we don't have him. Wild Goose, whatever that weird ass name of his, he played horrible. He sustained some drives early, which, I think one of them didn't result in any points or anything. But he was horrible, and William Jackson III needs to come back. And I hope he took the week off because people were bitching about him. Look, I'm telling you, the problem with Washington is the personnel they have. They're trying to fit square pegs in round holes. It's not going to be successful in any kind of long-term thing. You got to play and predicate your offense. You got to predicate your whatever around your players, around your skill set. If you have a bunch of fast linemen who are very small, should you be running or should you be, trying to run a ground and pound, downhill, 2 tight end set running game? No, you should be running fast stuff. You should go up tempo. Okay, if you have a very good running back, you hand the ball 8 times? No, we only had 19 designed runs, and like I said, for most of the game, I wouldn't say for most of the game we were down for the whole second quarter and then beyond, but we had no balance. There was no balance early. I remember the first play of the game, we did hand the ball off to Curtis Samuel. Well, we don't have a downhill running game that the defense has to try to stop, and then the play action helps the passing game later. So we did that, and then we had 5 straight passes, and then we have a 3rd down and 22 or something, and that's when we run the ball. It doesn't make sense. You don't run to be safe and punt the ball. You run to set up your play action. You run to set up your passing game, period. You run to wear down the defense. So then in the second half, our offensive line's not tired. It's better to throw a block. It's easier to throw a block. If you ever played offense and played an offensive line position, I played tight end, it's better to throw a block than it is to catch a block. Okay, it's better to be the initiator of contact, not the catcher of contact. Okay, if you're the blocker, if you're the one firing off, hitting the guy, that other guy has to hold his ground while you're kinetically moving. A body in motion stays in motion. Body at rest stays at rest. When you're an offensive lineman and someone's coming at you, and you got to backpedal as you're trying to stop his momentum, that's why you get put in someone's lap. That's why you get put on your ass. That's why our quarterback gets sacked. And that's the issue going on with Washington, is they're not having a balanced attack. 19 rushes to 55 passes. They're not having a balanced attack. They're not having a quick passing game that gets the ball out quick. It worked week 1, and they have not gone back to it. Scott Turner's gotten arrogant, and he thinks, oh, well, we have these talented receivers. We'll just go downfield, and we'll just run these 15-yard deep passes, and we'll just get chunk yards all day. It's not going to happen if you can't fucking protect your quarterback. It's not going to happen if you can't block. It's not going to happen if the play takes 8 seconds to develop and you get sacked in 4. That's an exaggeration. Most plays take about 5 seconds, but Carson Wentz is getting sacked in 2 seconds. Okay, if you don't believe me, go watch the All-22 film. There's a lot of bad scheming going on with this team. A lot of bad scheming. And that's where this team's going to have issues. If these scheming issues don't get fixed, they're going to be an ongoing issue from now until forever. And this season is going to be very rocky. Okay, I think the offense can be good, and I think the defense does what it did this week, last week, we would have won. That's all there is to it. We got off the field on 3rd downs. I actually want to see 3rd down conversions here. 5 of 15, that's not horrible. That's very good. That's 33% for the defense. That's not horrible. Now, 6 of 17 for us is bad. But 33% for the defense, not horrible. That's a winnable game. I don't care what anyone says, it's a winnable game. Yeah, they got 400 yards. They got a lot of, I would say, they got a lot of empty calorie yards. They got some good passes, but they didn't result in anything. 4th down, stop them on 4th down. We're actually pretty good stop people on 4th down and goal. 4th down. I do want to complain about the officiating a little bit. I kept tweeting this in the game. The fix is in. whenever a player can catch the ball, not have 2 feet down, and it just be called, and then the referees allow them to rush to the line to run a play. And Ron Rivera was in the process of throwing the flag before the ball was hiked. But that's not okay. You say, oh no, the play was run beforehand. Sorry, sucks to suck, Ron. But it's perfectly fine for the Eagles to hike a ball on 4th and goal, have a play actually be running for 5 seconds, and then blow a whistle saying the referee a timeout was called. After the play was broken, after Jalen Hurts was about to be sacked or run out of bounds, and Wash was about to get the ball back. All that was okay. That's okay. That's perfectly fine if you're the Eagles. And then near the end of the half, you're like, you have the clock running down, and the clock was stopped for about 10 seconds while they set up the ball, and then they started to clock back up again. It's freaking bullshit, dude. So I was watching the game. Look, fix it in. Eagles held on a lot of plays. They never called them. I don't know what's going on with the officiating and why Washington's being targeted. You used to think we got targeted because we never changed our name. Now I don't know what it is. I used to really believe that we got targeted because we didn't change our name, and their officiating was not going to be balanced and fair unless we changed our name, and Washington was going to suffer for it. I'm not going to complain much about the officiating. Most of the calls that called were fine. Just those 2 calls to me pissed me off. Like, you got a freaking 40-yard pass that, wanted to be reviewed by the coach, and he was throwing the flag as the ball was being hiked. That's okay. That you won't like. Hey, he was in the process of the flag. That he threw it. Whatever. Honestly, Ron just needs to fucking be a lot quicker with it. But and that led to their first score, to be honest with you. And then later in the half, it's 4th and fucking 12 or whatever. Jalen Hurts rolling out, no one's open, and it's 5 seconds into the goddamn play, and they fucking call a stupid ass. Oh, hey, they called timeout before they hiked the ball. Like, really? Why didn't you blow the whistle then? Why are you retroactively going back and getting this timeout? Really pissed me off, dude. Really just irritated me. And, I consider, I'm not going to blame the officials, but there's 2 big things that happened. There's their first touchdown, I think it was a touchdown, resulted from that play, that 40-yard pass that was not a catch, that we wanted to challenge, and they picked up the flag, like, nope, too late, sorry. Sucks to suck, Ron. And then at the half, they attack on another touchdown right before the half ends. So it's just bullshit. It's just fucking bullshit. And I'm not gonna. That's just something that's irritating. It affected 2 scores in the game, so it possibly could have been a massive momentum shifter. It's possible. But all in all, the biggest issue I have with this team, and I'm gonna be very. I was on this last year. I did not like Scott Turner last year. I think he's very creative in his plays, and everyone's like, oh, look, guys are open. You got to be able to protect your quarterback. You got to be able to get a quarterback in a position where he can see it. Okay? If you run verticals, eventually someone's going to get open because they're going to outrun the defense. Doesn't mean it's a great play call. It doesn't mean the quarterback can throw the ball 70 yards through the air. It doesn't mean the quarterback has time to throw the ball 70 yards through the air and let the guy get open. You have to have people get open immediately. And he's not doing a good job. Week 1, he did great. Week 1, he did a fantastic job. Then he tried to get cute. Then he went back to doing what was working. Now, I don't know what he's trying to do. I think the fucker is trying to sabotage Ron, and maybe he thinks he'll be head coach next year. I don't know. Ron Rivera, I really can't say much. I wish he'd be a little more pissed off after a win. That's really all I'm going to say. But I think he had the defense prepared, and I think the offense just did not step up and do what they had to do today. And I blame about 90% of that on Scott Turner, about 9% on the offensive line, and 1% on Wentz. Wentz did have some bad throws. Also, everyone's just playing bad because we had some throws that receivers drop passes that convert some third downs. Even Jahan Dotson, who has the hands of the best hands in the draft. Just everyone was just rattled today, and Carson was sailing some passes. It all started from the play calling and then the offense not blocking. Okay, I do believe that. I'm not making excuses. I'm just being straight up honest. I believe this is where all the problems started with this team. Is the play calling is bad, the offensive line wasn't great. You have to adjust. After the first series or 2, I'll give you 2 series. That's fine. You have a script. You need to be adjusting your offense to accommodate for what the defense is doing. You did it last week, the whole second half last week. You adjusted, and then the offense put up like 30 points in one half. Very good. We outscored the opposition. Gave ourselves a chance to win. Okay, with a couple things here and there, but gave ourselves a chance. But this week, I don't feel any adjustments were made, not significant enough. You abandoned the run like before the second play of the game. The first run of the game was like 12 yards to Curtis Samuel, and then we ran the ball 18 times after that. So yeah. What else do I want to say? I'm really tired. I really have to like turn my phone off during games because all we hear is this whiny ass people on Twitter. Oh, this team. Oh, this quarterback. If you're gonna complain about the problem that's fixable. The only thing fixable with this team right now is scheme. You're not gonna bench Carson Wentz and put in Taylor Heineke. You're not. It's fucking stupid. Don't even try. Don't even comment that. You're not gonna bench Carson Wentz and put in Samuel Howell. That's fucking stupid. Don't even start. It's not even feasible, dude. It's not even feasible. Samuel Howell will not play it down this season. Okay, that was by design. He's not playing it down this season. Taylor Heineke, unless Carson gets hurt, is not playing it down this season. Okay, unless we're up by a lot or something. They're not going to fix this. Carson Wentz was brought in here because Taylor Heineke's in deficiencies. Okay, inability to do certain things. He was brought in here for that reason. Okay, so that's not the fix. You're not going to go grab another running back off of waivers or something, or a free agent running back. You're not going to grab some magical defensive guy, or maybe Eric Flowers on free agency. That might be a solution. It's possible. But that's really the only thing you can do is go get Eric Flowers and potentially bolster this offensive line a little bit. But the offensive line I think it's a lot part to do with scheme, and it's part to do with the fans. It's part to do with the fact that they just weren't prepared for this. Looks like the defense was very well prepared, but the offense was not. And the fix is scheme. You have an offensive line that can't block for more than 3 seconds. Get rid of the ball in 2.5. That's your solution. You have a defense. You have a defense that you've been playing zone with, and you have a lot of guys that are used to playing man. What's the solution there? Switch to a lot of man coverage. And look, you actually hold the number one offense in the league to 24 points. You actually hold the number one running attack in the league to 78 yards. 72 yards, I'm sorry. On 30 attempts. Very low percentage, 2.4 yards a rush. So you did your job. You did the job in that regard. Look at the adjustments that were made. Now, can we make the adjustments next week against Cowboys? We'll see. Offense needs to make adjustments, and offense needs to make it. And I'm not one of these people that was jerking off Scott Turner week 1. I said, yeah, okay, he has some creative plays. Let's not get overzealous right now. We played at Jacksonville. And actually, Jacksonville's not looking too bad. They freaking manhandled beat the Colts last week, and they shut out the Colts last week. Let me rephrase that. And then this week, they beat the Chargers pretty handily. So good for them. They did a pretty good job. So our win against them's looking a little bit better. I'm just gonna say that. But that's my video. That's all I want to talk about. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Yeah, I will go in on our fans. I love I love fellow fans, but I do not like listen to them on fucking Twitter. They're fucking whiny, and they're not complaining. Well, if you're gonna whine, complain about the right things. Okay, complain about the right things, the things that need to be fixed, the things that are fixable, whatever you want to call it. That's what needs to be fixed on this team. Is this scheme needs fixed? Offensive core. I hate Scott Turner. I really do. Everyone's like, why you have a vendetta against him? He's not good. He's not a good offensive coordinator. And people got enamored with this shit last year. Where like, oh, guys were open. Okay, you have to be able to be in a situation where the offense, the quarter. I'm getting off topic again. This is my end of my video. Everyone have a good one. Hail to the Commanders, and see ya.